everyone, this is Ezekiel Kuhoga and we are in the KT podcast. Today I'm inviting Varsha. Now I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly. How do you pronounce your name?
Varsha Shurpali is the right
Varsha Shurpali.
Yes.
Oh, so it's Varsha Shurpali, and I think I mentioned in one of the posts on social media that I talked to Varsha just a little bit, and I realized she has a lot of information that she needs to share with the international community, because she has been here long enough. I believe she has gone through different paths that they are worth enough to share to the international talents, particularly international students in most of the universities here. So I will not take a long time to explain for her. Let us hear from her directly. Maybe can we start to know about you?
Thank you, Ezekiel, for inviting me for this podcast, and I'm quite happy to be here with you. I'm Varsha Shurpali. I'm basically from India, originally from India, and I have been living in Finland for the last 22 years or so.
Fantastic.
And yeah, it's been a very long journey for me here, and Finland is now my first home and India is my second home at the moment.
Fantastic. And, so what are you doing at the moment?
Yeah, I have been working with Setlementti Puijola's international meeting point Kompassi for the last 15 years or so.
Okay.
And I work at the moment as the community coordinator in Kompassi.
Actually, I attended the event which was organized by Puijola last week it was on Saturday. I can admit it was one of the greatest events I think I've seen in Finland. Yeah, maybe of that kind they happen maybe in other countries, but in Finland, for me, if you would remove those professional events that are being prepared for other foreign big artists, I would say for local events that was one of the great events. Yeah,
that's the best part of about that event that we do is we give boost to the local talent, because we every artist is a known person to Kompassi and Puijola as a whole, and we try to kind of approach them to if they are interested in showcasing their talents or culture, or this is every year we do this. It comes only once a year, this big event, supported by the it goes from that event called Maailmankulassa in Helsinki by Fingo organization. So it's pretty we have been doing it for the last 15 years again, if I say so, if I remember it properly. So local talent is what matters to us.
Perfect.
And you can always approach for the next year. I'm already giving all the talents out there a shout out, come and contact me, and let's see what we can do next time.
Perfect. Well, today we are not here though to talk about Puijola. Of course,
yes,
there is more information and we have to organize another session for that.
Yep.
But I think I'm more interested now to know about you, about your life journey here in Finland, what brought you and something like that. So could you tell us about your journey? What brought you to Finland, and how did you manage the environment when you came here? You said you've been here for around 20 years.
So yeah, more than 20 years, yes.
Yeah, I can't imagine 20 years from today back. How was it, and were you able to integrate?
It's not that bad. Finland is a fantastic country. I don't know what others people say. It has been fantastic for me, and I have really enjoyed living in Finland, except for winters. Still, I'm not a winter person, but otherwise it's been really totally life always has ups and downs.
That's true.
So I began in my career in India as a lawyer. I did my law, and then I practiced for some time, and then I got married. As usually in our countries, you live with your husband wherever he goes, and he went to first Belgium in Europe, and then we went to US, and then we went back to India, then we came to Finland.
Oh my God.
So well, it has been a kind of a big international journey for me, but then we stayed here.
Yes.
And many people,
that shows how lovely this place is.
Yes, absolutely.
At last,
yes, absolutely. Yeah. And what made us stay back here was my daughter. When you have a family, then you realize that like there is no perfect world other than Finland. For me at least, it's been the same.
Good tip.
Yeah.
So you make your home. You don't.
Yeah.
Actually, I used to have this also tip. Later on, I think I came to realize what you're saying, and then what I realized is that you have to make a home. You don't find a home like okay, now I found a home, but you have to make it.
There isn't a country on earth which is as easy as walking in the park. Everywhere you go, like probably if you speak the same language and if you have really that kind of qualifications that they need, and you go with a job and you stay in that job, and like probably that way you find your life more easier. But when you come with different aspirations, different ideas, you have to make sure that when you choose a country, you choose the right country to come for you.
Yes.
Because if you have most of the times we see that people come with very different expectations of a country. It is probably a bit of it. I also blame it on the movies. Like Hollywood, they give this kind of especially people who come from the Asian countries or African countries or so-called third world countries.
Yes.
They have totally different idea of how things work.
That's true.
Coming as a tourist is different, and seeing it from somebody else's eyes is different, and also experiencing the life when you come and live here, it's totally different.
That's very true.
So my suggestion, do a thorough research before you decide to come yourself or with your family. Totally. Like kids' education or language or living conditions or how much money you actually need. Nobody really thinks about the money factor. They think, I'll go and find a job here. No, that's not going to happen.
True.
No.
I would say majority of us, we come with that expectation. I just graduated and I just find a job and then I will survive.
Even student jobs. Many countries these days, they don't offer student jobs, and not in all the places. Of course, in Finland also there are bigger cities which provide much more better job opportunities or student job opportunities or places, but it doesn't happen always. So you have to plan your coming, like I understand many people don't have the option where they go because, like if we speak about refugees or, asylum seekers, they don't have much choice about how they have to make do with what they have. But even then, for those people, Finland provides excellent opportunities, language study opportunities, and like they are oriented into the society from the day they come, and like they are given benefits. But of course, life isn't always, as I said, like a walk in the park. So you have your own personal problems, and that you need to handle on your own. A country as such, it doesn't probably have much to do with your personal problems. But I do understand that these things can make people very negative about how the surroundings are.
That is what is happening.
Yes.
Yes. So now back into your integration to Finland 20 years ago. You came here, I believe you didn't speak any Finnish language. So we have a language difference, we have cultural difference. How did you manage to adapt? Maybe we can learn from you.
Yes.
Today we have a lot of people complaining it's very hard to integrate into Finland. People, maybe Finnish people are running away from people, something like that. But maybe we can learn how you integrated back then.
If I tell a little bit of briefly in my background, when we came to a place called Joensuu.
Yes.
And Joensuu is at the eastern side of Finland, and it had very recently, when we came in 2002, very recently gone through very high profile racistic attacks on migrant community in the region.
Yes.
And it was just put out. And the arrests were made, and then it was just cooling down, and we were the only Indian couple living in that city. And you guys should be really happy that the kind of residence permits you get, because at that time we got this kind of a B residence permit for even if you are working in the university. So that B residence permit was equivalent to student permit. So the B dependent permit was literally without any rights. So I had
right
no
to
right to
work.
study, had no right to work, I had no right to earn any money in Finland by any ways.
That was tight.
Yeah, that was very tough, and I had to wait 2 years to get the resident permit type A. Most people understand that,
years.
yes. 2 years, I had to stay home. I stayed home 2 years in Finland without friends, without family support, without Indians to, back me up.
How did you
Nothing.
survive?
I don't know how I survived. I still think back, and so the years and years of internet, like months and months of internet surfing and connecting with people in India all the time, and lighting letters and window shopping when it's not winter. I have no clue. Probably I was depressed, but for people like us, we don't have the word depression. We at that time, at least, now we use it a lot. So I survived somehow. So in a way, Finland has come a long way
Yes.
from that. So that situation made me probably a bit tough. After that, after I got that proper residence permit, I went into Finnish class, and from there, it started, and then my daughter was born, and things started moving in a bit positive situation, and we moved to Kuopio around the same time when my daughter was born, and again I had a little bit of social circle there, and again I was without anything, but I had my daughter at least with me, so that somehow we survived. And then I went to another class, and finally I ended up in Kompassi for a trainee position, like in between courses. And since as they say, rest is history. I
Yes,
stayed in
yes.
Kompassi, and I'm still there.
Yes, and I don't know. I cannot read your reports or everything like that. But from the outside, from the customer side, I could tell you are doing a great job.
Thank you
As
so much.
Kompassi, you have really branded Kompassi. When I moved to Kuopio, I moved here from March this year. So I think Kompassi was one of the earliest names I heard as I was looking for ways to integrate here. Yeah, so just hear Kompassi and Kompassi and Kompassi, and then later when I start to get into, then most of the time the name which comes forward is Varsha. You have to go and meet Varsha. So I could tell you are doing a great job.
Thank you so much. That people have so much trust in me. It's very hard to earn people's trust, and if
And that's where my question was coming. So how did you manage to reach to this status where you are being trusted this much? Because again, most of us as foreigners, we regard this place as very hard to earn trust, very hard to integrate, very hard to be recognized as such as you are being recognized now. Is there some kind of miracle happened, or did you take some deliberate steps to achieve that status?
Well, basically no, because I'm a pretty social person when it comes to, and I'm also a very pretty private person also.
Okay.
There are two sides to me, but I don't want to go into my personal things at the moment. So my social side comes out a lot when I'm in Kompassi.
Yes.
So I like to interact with people a lot, and I really love to talk to people, and the best possible social interaction I have had has been at Kompassi, because we get abundant number of lot of different country people, and it's so enriching for me to learn so many. Otherwise you will never get to know so many different cultures. I didn't know that Africa had so many different languages, because most
Okay.
Africans speak English.
That's true.
Yeah, so like when then they talk about their Heimokeli, this tribal languages, and I
Yes.
was like, oh my goodness, we used to think India has so many different languages and all those things, but then Africa is really, and you get to learn from people who are coming from such remote places, and it's very interesting to learn about them, and I really love what I do at Compass, and also it's something which I really like to do, and not just that. Not interacting, like I'm responsible for the volunteer work, and I get to interact with the Finnish people also. So I have two-way benefit in at my place, and I organize events and all. I get to kind of get some talents out there on the small stage, but a stage where some people at least will look at that, and we try to promote people in different places.
I see.
If I find some place where they can go, and I would recommend people to go there, you know, like this is one place they are doing this, and then go and check it out, you know, things like that. And the event that we organized, Mahadoli Suksentori, is a very best example, because so many people watched those programs, and then, you know, like they kind. So in a way, it has been really a kind of therapy for me as well as, you know, it's I don't know, you know, like how people take me, because I think I have been the same for years together. I have just gained more experience. But if they are trusting me with things, then I'm really grateful. It's really something which is really very heartening for me.
I see. Okay, you mentioned at some point in the beginning of this conversation, like people before coming to Finland, they should do some research. But now let's talk about people who are already here.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a lot of challenges, especially from the international or foreign students. After graduating, they find it very hard to get into the job industry.
Yes.
Now there are many circulating reasons, of course, mainly being the language difference. But on your own perspective, what do you think is the reason why do we have many times failing to get jobs? They have degrees. I believe they have talents, very useful.
One thing people need to remember is that Finland has been very new to immigration.
Yes.
Like about 30 years or something, it opened up its borders to many people, and historically, some of the initial transition of migrants coming to Finland have not been that popular. For various reasons. If you go back into the history, you will read the reasons why it has been. So it kind of made people a little more wary about people, and it takes a lot of time for Finnish people to kind of open up and to kind of you know, like even within themselves, they are not really that close. They have very typical circle within which they are with themselves, and they are very direct and honest people, you know, like if they they say no, a no, then that's a no.
That's so very true.
There is, I don't know if there are, of course, I mean, there are a lot of people also who are not really into the whole system of getting migrants, and there in every country there are such people. It's not just you. And one thing I always hear is making friends is very difficult with Finns. Well, they don't really have many friends either, but they do have and they don't have. So it's kind of that kind of a situation there, you know, like friendship as we expect in our countries shouldn't be expected in Finland. That's my first tip.
That's true. That's the cultural difference.
You don't go, you know, like hand in arm, and then, you know, like
and that's very true.
Happen.
That's very true. For us, I would say for Africans, and I'm saying Africans because I'm a Tanzanian, and so I have some friends Nigerian. So when we came here to Finland, again also we went to UN. So most of us, when we meet, we can even start a conversation and discuss a lot of things without even knowing each other's names, and we can talk and disperse. And we've just met, but I say it's different with Finns. You just can't meet and start talking. They have to know you first.
And we also have to accept them as they are. But when coming back to the jobs, because we about that sentence, like we have to accept as they are, because we expect them to accept us as we are. So it goes both ways. So coming back to jobs, and this is one of the reasons I said that, you know, like the very new and then experiences that have not been, and many foreigner Finns do not feel very comfortable working in employers, working in a multicultural environment unless they are a big. Finland has a lot of small scale businesses, and small scale businesses providing job means that, you know, like a person needs to have Finnish, because the most of the whole work environment is Finnish. Why Finnish should be important, why you don't take talents into consideration, you know, like I can do the same job much better than the Finnish person, but then, you know, are you capable of integrating into the whole work system? Do you have, if you speak Finnish and then if you are not getting job, then so are not so many Finnish people not getting job either.
That's true.
Of course, I do agree that there is, to a certain extent, there is a possibility that, like there is a Finnish person and then there is a migrant person, and with equal qualifications, the weight may scale
On
a bit
Finnish.
differently.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yeah,
think not just for
yeah,
Finland, even in my country, I don't know if it's the policy or not, but
yeah.
still they are supposed to. I don't know if should I say they're
Yeah.
supposed to, but most of the time weight should come more on the person who
Yeah, yeah.
like
Whom
is
you feel more comfortable
indigenous
to
there.
work with,
Yeah.
and orientation happens in the language, one language, and they don't have to guide the foreigner person more than, because you
Yeah.
have to guide the person who doesn't speak the local language. So I'm telling why, because of the language, why people say that learning language is very important, because
Yeah.
it also is one of the reasons why, like how you can convince your employer that, you are the better, you are a good person, because proper person, right person for that particular job.
Yes.
Okay, so but then of course, like that may not actually work for you even after that, because, like employers may have different criterias, when they are considering. We cannot speak on behalf of employers all the time, but
Yes.
then I do agree most of the times that talents should be given some sort of opportunities
Yes.
to do that, because you always have this koe aika, that is the trial period,
Yes.
so to test the person. So
That is very
yeah,
important.
it
Yes.
is my, like employers, it's nice. I know it's a lot of work for them to again open up the positions and all those things, but this is a small step how you can kind of, like go forward. And when it comes to jobs, uh, its language learning becomes essential in smaller cities than the bigger cities, where I said that there are a lot more job opportunities or training opportunities are there. If you speak, then how well you are ready to integrate into the working environment, that you should showcase. That's
Yes. Yeah.
what matters a lot more. And Finns have very typical style of working, and if you are a fast learner, you will do really perfectly well.
Yes. Yes.
But then, like you networking, language learning is very, language learning, I will say, it's very, very respectful for the country you are living in and you want to have a life.
Yes.
Because if somebody comes to my country and lives tens of years and then says that, I cannot learn language because my work environment is in English, I wouldn't accept that. Even I wouldn't accept that.
Of course. Yeah.
No, you have to make effort when you are looking for job. If you don't have anything, go ahead. You are a student, you have 3 years or 2 years of studies. Give 1-2 hours per week instead of, I know a lot of studies is going on, but Finnish is also a study.
That's true.
Yes,
That's very true.
if you don't give even 2 hours in 2 years, imagine how much you can learn.
Yeah, that's very true. That's
Yeah,
very true.
yeah, it's not asking too much out of, like one whole week, 40 hours or something, whatever comes out of that working hours. Just try to go to whichever place you have online or whatever is available everywhere. Try to do it, and learning, at the end of the day, when you have basic language learning capacity, you have a little more possibility to demand a little more.
That's true. That's very
Yes.
true. Well, now just wrapping up. Of course, now the time is very brief, very brief. I think we have to prepare some other time, another podcast, just to wrap up on the same topic about international or immigrant to find jobs here. You have spoken about the language mostly, but how about the other talent exposure? How would you advise now these people? Because we have, I've realized, I've spoken to a lot of people, and I've realized we have some people with great experience, maybe as business managers back in the home country. I've spoken to some people from India as well. We have sales people who have been sales manager, HR specialists. We have people who have done a lot of stuff, and they're here with the content, but they don't find any way to expose or just to show it. What would you advise them?
Most administrative work is in Finnish. That's one thing that everybody needs to know, because otherwise you will have to change the entire system to accommodate people.
Yes.
So you cannot change the whole system to accommodate into English language or any other language.
Yes.
In Finland, in any country, there are thousands of different language speakers. If people start demanding one English or other language, my mother tongue, then the other person will come say, I want Arabic, I want French, I want Spanish. How many languages are you going to accommodate? Isn't it easier for you to learn and be there with one language, than like them accommodating tens of other different languages if they have a multicultural group working in their country.
Yeah.
FinVector is a very good example. They have so many multi talented people working for them, but it's one company and it has its own field where they are working.
Yes.
So coming to that, I don't think that I should be stressing a language that much, because as I also propagate that some sort of opportunity should be always given to the different talents if they weigh on the scale pretty much similar to the other person.
Yeah.
But then also I also want to stress to people that either you are student or you are working or anything, nothing is guaranteed in life. Just try to go into different networking, approach people, approach the employers, approach show whatever kind of language talent you have, then just show it, and you have to show what you have. And getting into the first base in any trainee positions are very important.
Yes.
Because that gives them an opportunity to test you. So take if you find it in your field.
Well, thank you so much, Varsha, for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting
you
me
have
here.
shared so much insights. I believe our followers have been able to learn a lot, and I'm looking forward to feature you more and more podcasts. I believe you have a lot of information to share.
Thank you for this opportunity. I don't know if I was clear about my thoughts, but I
You
hope
have
people
been so clear.
did. But I did say the things that I have observed in my 20 years of life in Finland.
Perfect. I believe we need to hear more. There is a lot of questions going on, and I with the brief talk that we have had even before, then I got most of the answers of the questions which are circulating around.
Yes, so I told you all of them there when we talked to each other.
Yes, so let's stay tuned for the coming podcast. Thank you so much. If you're following this, do not forget to subscribe, follow, and by the way, I will share information on this page, on the description area, even how you can reach Varsha at Kompassi office. So I will share information. Make sure you check the information below. Apart from that, make sure you learn, make sure you find a way to expose your talents, and make sure you learn the language. That's the lesson we got from Varsha today. Thank you so much, and bye-bye. See you soon.
Thank you.